Yes, I would love to babysit your cat at 3 in the morning when I'm supposed to be getting sleep. Yeah, I'll lend you $10, even though I really need to use that for groceries and not starve for the next week. But yes, I'll send you $10. Yes, I really like that candidate. He's really cool, even though I really don't like everything he stands for. And I just say that to keep the peace so I don't get in a dispute on Facebook. Oh, yeah, no problem. I would love to babysit your kid for a few hours, even though he screams the whole time, makes my eardrums bleed, and really gets my anxiety going. But yes, I would love to help you babysit your kid. Yeah, I would like that in blue instead of red because blue looks horrible on me, but I don't want to disappoint you, so I would say yes. Yes, I would love that with 2% milk instead of almond milk, which I always order for myself. And finally, yes, I will help you. Even though I said no like 5 times and explained it clearly why I couldn't do it, but you keep coming back at me and giving me guilt trips. So yeah, I'll do it. And what does this all lead up to? Exercise your power of saying no. Yes, it's the most awkward thing for some people. It actually makes you feel a little nervous, maybe a little uncertain, and yes, not everybody's going to like that answer. But it comes to a point we have to set our boundaries and actually say no when something doesn't serve us. In this video, we're going to get into this topic just a little bit and also talk about the psychology of when you don't say no and how it affects you and your outer reality. And I'll leave you a couple tips on how to say no gracefully and not feel guilty about it. So get your cozy beverage and join me for a few minutes as we dive into it. Cue the music. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy Friday. I got that Friday feeling. I don't know about you. It's been quite a week, so I'm ready for a little rest and rejuvenation. And before I head off for the weekend, I did want to get into a topic that a lot of people seem to struggle with in their lives, as well as myself, the power of no. And it really is a superpower in itself. A lot of us are still learning how to exercise that, how to not feel bad for saying no, and using it more often. Now, saying yes to certain things in your life can be wonderful. Sometimes we'll have an opportunity come up, a big trip, maybe even a project that we want to work on with someone, and the answer yes is perfect. It's something we feel really good about, we're in the right vibration, and it's all green lights ahead. Now, for me, saying no is relatively a new superpower I've been exercising the past year. I'm not 100% perfect at it. It is a process like everything else. And I am proud of how far I've come because I will say a couple years ago, I would say yes to everything. And I think that was a big factor in my anxiety, even though I wasn't fully aware of it at that time. Saying yes to everything opens you up to being a super multitasking machine that never seems to stop. The stress can be overpowering. It can really be detrimental to your health. And also, you really fall short of your own expectations for what you want to achieve. Now, there's a different way to look at saying no. A lot of people feel that if they say no to a certain project, or to a certain person, or even to a certain situation, they're going to let people down. They're going to seem like they're not part of the team, or they might miss out on something that they didn't realize was a big thing until later on. And while any of these feelings are very natural, I've experienced all of those myself, there comes a time when you start thinking of saying no as your own superpower. If someone comes up to you and asks you to do something or participate in a project, go out and do something, or even do them a favor, but it doesn't feel right, usually that's a no. That's your intuition kicking in. So do trust that. Maybe evaluate it a little bit, but don't overthink it. Because when we start overthinking why we're saying no, then we can really trick ourselves and actually end up saying yes because we feel guilty about it. It is okay to say no. When we say no to one thing, we're saying yes to ourselves for another thing. And it's really interesting. Ever since I've been taking that perspective, it really helped me solidify my answer if it did come to saying no to something. I have to trust my own self as to whether that situation will serve me or if it will serve that person of me being part of that. Now, it's not always about yourself, even though that may be the first thing you think of. Sometimes when you participate in something or do someone a favor, you may be enabling them for a bad habit. You may not be serving them in a way maybe someone else can do. It's a lot of different factors going into it. But initially, it's really what you feel and what helps you. Now, a few years ago, I was horrible at saying no. I was a yes person. I would say yes to everything. Yes, just like in the beginning, my little parody there. I would say yes to everything, no matter how I felt, because I didn't want to let people down. I didn't want to disappoint people, and I certainly didn't want to be seen as not part of the team. But sometimes certain things did not resonate for my life path. And just because one person says no to somebody, it doesn't mean that they hate them. It doesn't mean that they will never participate in a project with you ever again. It's just at that time, that situation, the answer is no, and it doesn't serve either one of you to push it. I have come across a situation recently where I really respect the person that asked me to do a favor, and I really see the cause in it. I totally understand it and support it, but it does not serve what I'm doing at this time. Now, the way I said no, I didn't go, oh no, I don't want to do that, and screw you for asking me. No, you don't do that. Be gracious. Have some gratitude. Whether their intentions are good or not, they still thought of you. So in a way, I approach it personally, and this just works for me. I'll say, well, thank you for thinking of me in this situation. I really appreciate that. I know a lot of people will be excited about this, depending on what we're talking about. I know this will be great for you, but at this time, it really doesn't work for me. So unfortunately, I would not be able to do that. But thank you, and I appreciate you thinking of me. And I hope you keep me in mind for future events. And that's pretty basically the answer I gave. And it was all honest. It was just the way you word it and the way you approach it. And by the way, if you do not want to be considered for future events, don't say that part. Now, of course, all situations are not equal. There are some people who do try to take advantage of others and ask them for favor after favor after favor, not understanding when you say no, that you mean no. Come on! Then that's when some boundaries need to be set. And I've been setting more and more boundaries down lately because, especially not reiterating it, but with an anxiety issue, sometimes you do have to set boundaries. Even if you don't have anxiety, out of self-respect, you need to set boundaries so people know not to walk all over you. Because no one deserves to be a doormat, but it is up to you to not open the door to being treated like a doormat. So when you say no, and no, it's a permanent answer, do not keep entertaining a discussion about it. Do not keep wavering. Oh, well, maybe. Well, no. And yeah. You know, when you're wishy-washy about it, that person asking you will try every tactic to get you to do it. And it also makes you look like you're very indecisive and you're just stringing them along, whether any of those things are actually accurate or not. So it's better for both parties for you to be firm in your decision. It's not that nothing can change. I'm sure there are exceptions. But most of the time, like 99% of the time, when you say no, you know in your heart that you're done. But there has to be respect on both sides. Not just the person saying no and saying yes to themselves for something else, but also the person asking. You have to understand. You don't see their whole situation and you don't see their whole story. So whether they make up an answer or not, if the answer is no, the answer is no. And it's just a quick little topic, but I feel that's really important because a lot of us feel like we have to say yes to be part of the team. It's almost, forgive the term, but it's almost like a herd mentality. Because if you feel you don't say yes to everything or to something, you're going to miss the train. And then you're going to be on the outside and you're going to be ostracized in some situations. And that's not a good feeling. So if you feel like you have to say yes because of any of those reasons, do you really want to say yes anyway? And does that actually serve you? So always trust your intuition. Always tap into your heart space and ask yourself, how does this serve me? How does this add to the value in my life? And how can I add value to this person's favor? So I keep using project because it's the only way I know how to refer to it, but apply this to any decision-making situation in your life. It's really important as we take our power back to work on being able to say no, but with kindness and with graciousness. Because when we say no abrasively and not that we really have to explain it, but we're just rude about it, then that can really backfire on you too. So do remember that if you're asking someone in a favor, yes, you may be disappointed if they say no. You may have been really excited to bring them on the project or include them in whatever you're asking them for. But do have respect. Do understand if they say no, it's for a reason. And it doesn't mean that you can't talk to them and treat them well despite that. Sometimes we have to agree to disagree. It doesn't mean burn the whole relationship or friendship. So with that, I hope that helps you guys, especially when you are faced with a decision next time. If you feel the power of saying no bubbling inside of you, do it. You'll thank yourself later. So that is it for me for the week. I will be taking the weekend off as always. However, there will be a video uploading tomorrow, which will be a new addition to the Moonwatch series. Tomorrow is Halloween, and it's going to be a blue full moon as we're still in the energy of the Mercury retrograde. Let's get excited. So be on the lookout for that. But otherwise, I will see you guys Monday for Mindful Monday. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And remember, always say yes to yourself. Until the next time, to know thyself is to know thy truth. Namaste.